I've been building this body for over 2 years now, and I'm weighing at around 77 to 78 kilograms, and this is my current physique. So this is going to be like mostly about my story, how I got into calisthenics, how I started improving my diet, how I improved my training plan, and like all the steps I took before I reached this physique. So this was my starting point. If you've already seen my transformation video, you can like already have like an idea of how my physique evolved as I mentioned about like certain topics here. So I grew up as a kid thinking that being skinny was like a good thing. It was healthy, it was attractive. And like I later on reached to the conclusion that that was completely wrong. Because first I was like, sometimes I would like get bullied. When I say bullied, I don't say like the type of bullying where you just fucking chase people down, start beating the fuck out of them. No, it was more like a casual, like oh, this guy's so skinny, he's ugly, he's got like bad teeth. So this was actually one of the main reasons why I stick to my plan. But the reason why I really started was because me and my brother, we were like in athleticism, right? And we had like summer break. We were usually really lazy. So in that summer break, we decided to actually start like getting focused on athleticism, right? So we would run, we would do push-ups, we would do that basic kind of stuff that increases your endurance. So after times passed doing that, we eventually ended up like going to, not going, like we had this one friend, if he's watching this, he probably knows it's him, but he was the first one like to introduce us to street workout bars. That's a calisthenics bar. And so there was this one guy, he was all jacked up. His name was Danny, and he had like a really built body at like 16, 17. So that, not only that, but he was also like kind of coaching us like only in the first workout. Like he explained the basis of calisthenics, like the basic exercises, and I did the workout. We were like really skinny. Everyone was with their shirt off, and me and my brother, we were usually really, how do you say, really insecure about our bodies, so we would just keep the shirt on. And I didn't really start after that workout, but that gave me an idea for later. So weeks, like 1 to 2 months go by, and athleticism starts again. So we were like working hard on like athleticism. We were really like motivated for like a new season, get great results. And so me and my brother, we started going more often to the calisthenics park. So this was where I actually started calisthenics. We were doing two sports at the same time. And I was really skinny. I was doing athleticism 7 p.m. Then once the training ended, I would go to the calisthenics park in the night. I would usually do abs because I thought like that was the most logical thing to do. But later on, I found out that these two were not compatible, especially because I was trying to gain mass in calisthenics. So this, I'm gonna talk about my diet now. Just for reference, you can imagine yourself waking up 7 a.m. You have school at 8:30 a.m. So what does dumbass you do? You just wake up, go instantly to your phone, start playing Clash of Clans, take a piss, brush your teeth, not take breakfast, go to school with your stomach empty, then it starts hurting. So you go to the school cafeteria, you get a cookie pack, then some of your friends just ask for one. And then you finish the classes by lunchtime. So you go to lunch and you also eat 3/4 of the plate. You have right to soup, you have right to fruit, you have right to dessert. Yeah, I would always take dessert, but I would only eat the main plate and dessert. I wouldn't finish the main plate. And this was all the energy I could have to use in my workouts, which was way too little. Slightly before I quit athleticism, I started eating a lot. I was force feeding myself into repeating plates 2 to 3 times. I would like eat anything. I thought that would be beneficial for me. Well, it kind of was because I gained some mass, but this was essentially where my gains started skyrocketing. My workout plan, like when I started, was like I would get to the park and I would just be, yeah, fuck it. Today I'm gonna do some chest. And so tomorrow I don't know. Let's see. I don't feel like doing legs. I'm just gonna do some abs. So that was like my workout routine. I'm not gonna say it was uh, it was bad, but it wasn't the best as well because I was still working out, right? I was like goofing around like in the bars doing random shit, and that eventually led me into started like realizing which exercises train which muscles, which workout routine is better because when I used to get to the bars to I didn't even know triceps and forearms was a muscle. I thought like the entire arm was just like muscle, one muscle. Yeah. And I would get to the bars, I would start doing pull-ups thinking that I was training triceps. Yeah, it's like bro, okay, can you like reach like this level of fucking retardedness? It's not that it's bad. I was still working out, but I just didn't have the right thoughts in mind. I started researching a little about like what's the best workout plan, and I came across push pull leg. So this was one of the first. It was technically like the first workout plan I've ever had. So in push, I would do push-ups. Pull, I would do pull-ups with resistance bands and Australian pull-ups mostly. And in legs, I would skip. And I would just like train push again. Bro, just so you can like see clearly, I was weighting like 57 kilograms and I couldn't do a single pull-up. I needed like resistance bands and that kind of stuff. Just so you can like understand how weak I was. After like a few months go by, I started seeing some progress. It was like kind of quick. You know the graphic of gains by time. In a short amount of time, you get like exponential gains, and then it starts to slow down. But yeah, that was kind of what happened to me. Then I started to realize that calisthenics was not only something about gaining mass, but it was also like an actual sport. I could do skills. I could actually get something with it. I used to do like a lot of handstands. I would do like scorpion handstands, like where you're fucking doing like this, walking around with your hands. And that was like kind of a base for me to start doing handstand push-ups, doing starting to train to planche, but that's for later on. And I decided to start working on my clean handstand. I would even start to train for muscle ups, but that was like a few months after I started calisthenics because the base of it in the first, I'd say 7 months, I would just like spam the bases like pull-ups, dips, and squats. That's literally like the base of anything in calisthenics. As long as you have a variation workouts at the beginning, you're gonna get good results. So I started like seeing more things that I could eat to increase my efficiency while working out, which kind of food that could grow me muscle fast at the same time was more healthy. I started eating a lot of rice and chicken whenever I could because usually I was not in control of my meals. It was my parents and the school. So only when I was like home alone I could eat rice and chicken. And so after that, a few months go by, I started seeing like my first calisthenics competitions. Like I saw like these guys doing crazy things on the bar, 360, 540, and like planche. I didn't even think there was anyone in my country who could do that type of shit. But that inspired me a lot. Like, when I say a lot, I only had like skills in my mind. I would wake up every day. I would only think about working out. How can I start doing this skill? And that was my peak where I started to learn more skills. At the same time, that was growing my muscle even more. So I was gaining a lot of strength. I was starting to unlock a lot of skills. Also, right before I unlocked handstand push-ups and handstand press, my cousin, she's a bodybuilder, a great person. She came to visit us in Portugal. And you may not understand at first, but when I say that she had like great impact in my life, I'm telling you for real. Like it was not like properly directly, but more in the way that I would see her routine and I would compare it to mine, then I could definitely understand why she's at the level she is and why I'm at the level I am. Because I wouldn't wake up early. I wouldn't start the day with great breakfast. So I went to the gym with her for like one day. I think it was one day. And after that, I got a membership for 1 month. I got completely scammed. I don't like gyms. I only did like weighted calisthenics there. But I would observe, I would analyze what she would do before her workouts, what she did after, like, not in the sense that like completely watching, but it just stands out. Like, you get when a person has a way better lifestyle than you do when you just look like whatever they do throughout the day. So this was when I started like researching a lot more about nutrition and also like a bit of working out, but mostly dieting. And what I came across was that I should start eating a lot more dairy based products, eggs, like meat, like milk, yogurt. And one major change that I did to my diet was that I started adding more vegetables. Eat your vegetables and shit like that. But that definitely made a difference because not only I would see that impact positively in like my mental health, but also I would feel not as like heavy as dense. I would feel essentially better overall. I would still eat the same amount, but I was eating like a larger variety. So a few months later as well, like I saw my mental health go like just like a roller coaster down because this was the phase where I started like getting more interest into girls and like you may ask to yourself, yo, my bad, bro, why are you like down? Like what the fuck are you yapping about? How does mental health have anything to do with getting girls? I would wake up every day and I would just contemplate how I didn't have like anyone by my side. I would just essentially feel really lonely, although I would have like some friends there that just I would just hang out with, but I needed like some feminine energy like in my life as that. I know this seems kind of silly, but you probably like I don't know if that's already happened to you or it will, but you're definitely gonna reach a stage where you're gonna lack feminine energy so much you're just gonna fucking crumble upon yourself. This was a really important phase for my growth as well because here I started doing really bad habits. I'm telling you, really bad habits. But I'm gonna cover that up for another video. Like, I'm gonna make a mental health guide. So this is where like my gains kind of just, I don't know. It wasn't going too fast nor too slow. It was just like going. And I've been like in this situation for like over 1 year, like literally 1 year or more, or like somewhere around that time. And in between that, I've learned some skills like back lever. I started doing handstand push-ups more consistently. I started doing presses. I learned the 360 as well, I think. This moves on to the next step, which was I was already kind of chubby, so kind of chubby because I'm gonna show you a photo. You're gonna see. This was when I started my cut. My cut, because I started like really drastically changing my diet. Fundamentally, I began to eat a lot of vegetables. I started feeling like not much energetic, but I would see like my body fat slightly reduce over time, and I was gaining muscle, like a lot of muscle. After like gaining a decent amount of muscle in that short period of time, I started slacking off a little, and I, this was like the time where I began like kind of drinking and stuff because I was 16 and my friends would go out and I'd go with them as well. I would like every time I would go with them, I would get like completely wasted. So I would get home. I was still shredded, so everything was okay. Until one day I realized that the consequences of like drinking heavily, because I wouldn't drink as many times, one time every like 1 to 2 weeks. But when I drank, I would drink like I would abuse literally. I started to feel with less energy. I started to feel like my body was gaining body fat. I started to feel like shit. Especially my mental health was like declining once again, and I stopped like going out as much. And yeah, I just kept like a flow, slightly gaining muscle, but I wasn't satisfied with that. So my cousin once again visited me. This time she brought her boyfriend, which was like another bodybuilder. So while they were here, I once again realized how much my habits can change. Of course, like when they got here, I was already like waking up early and all that stuff. I would do some yoga and shit in the morning, but they made me realize I could be even better. These guys are like an whole another level. Not only they made me like change perspective in a physical way, but they also made me realize I could be a better person in terms of mentally and psychologically, because they started like mentioning about books and stuff, and fundamentally they made me realize once again how much I could change. And also I started like working out on I started like focusing on solely planche and front lever workouts. So I would train like every day planche and front lever, and I was still like growing muscle insanely. That's because due to the fact that I was like consuming creatine. So I think that was it. Like I tried to cover up most of the highlights where I got great muscle gaining. I'm gonna make a full guide how you can actually grow muscle in the next video, but this is fundamentally like my story. So you can like get like a little background what type of person I am. I'm gonna make like a new Discord server. I'm gonna link it down in the description. You can check it out. I'm gonna like mostly it's gonna be like kind of a cult, because we're gonna get people into self-improvement that are just there to help. It's like going to be a small community where you can just hang out, share your progress, and essentially it's gonna be like a great community. At least I expect that. I think that's all. Stay hard.